Ladies and gentlemen, my life was on a big whiteboard, and somebody came with a rag and just wiped it off, and I had to start all over and building a reputation and how I'm going to communicate and make people feel. This is what I would do. Here is my blueprint if I had to start all over from scratch. You ready? Number one, I'm going to speak as if every word matters. I'm going to talk as if every word matters. Now you might think, Jefferson, that sounds like a lot. It's not. I'm not saying you have to go just meant let me think about it every single time you talk. That's not it. It is a mindset. It is a mindset that what you say today affects everything about who you will be tomorrow, how you'll be talked tomorrow. In my book, The Next Conversation, one of the first things I teach in the essentials is that your words have a ripple effect, meaning what you say today affects everything else in your life. Communication touches everything. How you talk to the person behind the counter or the waiter or waitress affects how they talk to their family when they go home. How you talk to your friends or people that are strangers affect what they think about you. How you talk at work affects how you move up in your job. How you talk to your kids affects how they will talk to their kids. People you will never meet are affected by your words today, and that's including words you say to yourself. I came across something on social media that really hit me hard. I wish I took a screenshot of it, but the essence was this. Every time you act, you're trying to make two people proud, or you're trying to honor two people. That's your younger self and your older self. And that was almost a mind-blowing concept to me. Of when I choose to say something, I am saying it sometimes for my younger self, to stand up for myself, to make them proud of where we've come. You've made it. You're okay. And also what I say and do for my older self, the person who's going to have to live with the consequences, the person who's going to have to pay the cost. So it was just a great way of kind of putting a spectrum on it. The younger self, the 5-year-old, 8-year-old me, I can see it with my big, bottle glasses, and my older self, who hopefully still has hair. What am I doing for that person that I could be choosing to do today? Every word matters. Your words have a ripple effect. And so when you say, okay, what's the practical effect of that, Jefferson? What do you do? Here's what I would do. I would understand that when I speak, I'm going to speak in a positive way, meaning I'm going to use positive words. Why? Because then I will be feeling more positive to myself, meaning I'm giving myself positive words and I'm sending out positive words. If I'm being generous with my positive, uplifting kindness, I'm going to receive that back. And it works in a loop. You know those people, they go, oh, they're so nice, they're so pleasant. You know why? Because they're generally nice and pleasant. They say nice and pleasant things. If you say, I really like that person, you most likely what you mean is they said nice things to you. Like rarely do we see the hidden act of kindness from someone. That's rare. Like, yes, actions can speak louder than words. They're not a replacement for them. It's your words. You remember how a friend talked to you when you were on the playground, when you were 6 years old, and if it would brought you up or put you down, you remember it. You remember what your parents said. You remember how your grandparents treated you. Everybody has a memory that is tied to how people's words affected you. They remember. I can remember getting in trouble in PE, which was like our recess kind of class, because this kid and I got in a spat. And I remember the coach coming up and saying, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And I thought, what an odd thing to say. I was like maybe 7. I even just remember going, yeah, that's such a weird thing to say. That's just not true. Our words matter. Our words truly matter. So when you choose to say uplifting things rather than negative things, you're going to start and build a legacy, a reputation that is built upon that. You choose the words that you want to make people feel. So your words are who you are. Put in a nutshell, what you say is who you are. People only experience you based on what comes out of your mouth. That's really how they base your entire personality. One of these days, every one of us, we're not going to be on this earth anymore. And the people that when they are at your funeral, and you've been to funerals, all we think about is how that person made us feel. These conversations that we had with them, these memories that are tied to words and expressions and feelings that are are wrapped in conversation, communication. So I would first have the mindset that every single word matters. And I'm going to choose words that uplift. I'm going to choose words that are warm. I'm going to choose a tone that is going to uplift them. I like to say that your tone is your trademark. You say, okay, Jefferson, you sound a certain way. Maybe it's my voice makes people feel something, or how I treat them. Everybody has a distinct, unique voice that I can never replicate. And you make people feel a certain way. Your tone is your trademark. And so how do you want to be remembered? Every single word matters. So choose words that serve you better. Choose words that serve the other people better. Cool. 2. Second thing I would do is consistency, meaning I'm going to show up every single time in that same mindset. Let me give a practical application of that. When we get into conversation, what typically happens is we only think about the words. We don't think about the feelings after. We only think about the current present moment. We don't think about what comes next. We just think of right now. We don't think about episode. We only think about the trailer. We only think about the pilot episode. We're not thinking about what episode 9 is going to look like, or episode. So it's very easy for us to say things that hurt or say things that are flippant because we are not paying attention to what comes after. Consistency means I'm going to be very careful that when I say things, I'm going to remember the next moment, because I have to continue to show up in that consistent form. What that says is, I want you to think of conversations sometimes as you're watching them. You're watching them happen, as if you're in the audience with popcorn and you're watching the conversation. You're going to ask yourself, will I be proud of my performance? Will I be proud of how I reacted? Will I be proud of myself? I can't control a lick of what the other person says or does. Not a thing. They have free will. They can do and say whatever they want. But will I be proud of me? Will I be proud of me? Like I can remember my parents getting on to me and my siblings, and I would say something, well, my sister did XYZ, and they're going, I'm not talking to your sister, I'm talking to you. You can't control anything about how they're reacting. I can only tell you about how you're behaving right now. It's that same kind of concept. You can't control what anybody else is doing. Will you be proud of what you are doing in that instance? You want to take this even further. There's something in my mind that I kind of have, is signature habits. I would create a signature habit. And that is, what are you going to be known for? And what you continually show up to. So maybe your signature habit is, I'm somebody who's very quick to apologize. I'm somebody who, if somebody wants to get in line, absolutely I'm going to let them in. My signature quality is that I don't mind if somebody merges right in front of me. Go right ahead. My signature, my trademark is how I am going to always end the conversation with a compliment, or how I shower people with compliments that are genuine, or how I end a conversation with, is there anything else I can do to help? What is your signature action? That it's a habit that you can continually be as yours. Everybody does one. One's already come up to your mind of like, this is what I feel like I do every single time. It's become your trademark. It's your signature habit. And these are important because they show up as your continued legacy when you're building that. And that it's part of consistency. So number 1, we talked about using words that are more uplifting and using positive words. Number 2, what I would do is make sure I'm solidified on a signature habit. For me, what I like as my signature habit is I want to make people feel very warm. That is my habit. This is what I love to do. I talk the fastest I ever talk, really, when I am in my car, on the social media, or on a podcast, because you have to get information out pretty quickly in life. I'm a little bit slower, just a little bit slower, and maybe you're listening and going, Jefferson, you already talk pretty slow, man. Well, my default is even slower than this, and I like to make people feel really warm. And so I am going to give compliments. I'm going to show gratitude. I'm going to let the other person be first. I like the acts of service, even when I'm especially in conversation. And that's how I've been raised, and that's what relates to me and resonates with me. So that's That's what I would do. Number 2 is consistency. Number 3, if I had to start all over from scratch, I'm going to practice the hard conversations. I'm going to welcome the hard talks. When there's a difficult conversation, I'm going to have this mindset of, okay, awesome. Yes, this is my chance. Rather than having the mindset of, I don't know. I mean, no, we can just put this off. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And finding that I'm always backpedaling. I'm walking on eggshells. Absolutely not. If I want to build a communication legacy of how I want to be remembered, I want to be seen as somebody who is attacking in the best way possible difficult conversations as if it's something I am excited about doing, not in a negative way, but I'm understanding that the difficult conversations are the best opportunity to build the best relationship. Now I know that you also, you've done so much research. In fact, have a whole separate book on just habits, the power of habits. And of course, everybody's looking for better habits. What would you say to the person listening right now is one habit that they can work towards in their life right now to simply improve their communication? So asking those deep questions is a great habit, right? That's one thing. And it literally is a habit.
You are not a target. I was once told by my husband, you are an easy target, and everyone knows it. Time and again, I walked away defeated, even with my children. Jefferson showed me what I lacked was communication skills. From his social media, I started applying these answers to difficult situations. Let me be clear, this is not a book of his social media quips. That's what I thought it would be. No, it is learning to understand where people are and to adequately communicate with them. It's teaching to deepen relationships by way of strong communication skills. You are not a weak person for purchasing this book. You are strong and courageous for recognizing there is a better way to bridge a gap. Create healthy boundaries that work, to not get sucked down a rabbit hole, to not think you've lost your mind. I highly recommend, and I'm starting my second read through. Kindle edition is an easy read. Bless you, Jefferson, for exhibiting love for people. I was just taken aback. I was totally blown away by this. I have no clue who this person is. In fact, they didn't even leave their name. It just says verified purchase. This is my point with this, is I want you to know where to go in your mind when conflict comes your way. You are not a target, and if you felt like you've been your whole life, this is where it stops. Rule number 1 in my book, there are 3 rules. It's rule number 1. Say it with control. Number 2, say it with confidence. Number 3, say it to connect. And the whole focus of rule number 1 is you can't say anything about what I teach you. Whether it's my phrases, my quips, my little words, everything that I can give you. None of it matters if you do not say it with control, if you do not first regulate yourself. So we're going to talk about in this episode what I want you to think about when conflict comes your way. Anytime that somebody says something that you weren't expecting, your body naturally, through its biology, reacts. People think that fight or flight is something that has to happen when you come with physical contact. No, that's not true. It happens every day in these little micro moments. Even when somebody just flatly disagrees with you. When somebody disagrees with your opinion, or they say something you don't like, or they call you an ugly name, your body goes, hey brain, I didn't like that. And the brain goes, give me a second. Yeah, no, we definitely didn't like that. And it naturally reacts. You have a scowl on your face. You want to say something back. You get heated. Your neck and jaw get tense. All biological, all normal, all natural. So what do you do with that? Rule number 1 in my book is you use your breath as the first word that you say. And the reason why is because it adds distance between what they say and how you respond, which gives you time to regulate yourself to think of the quips that I give you and the sentences I give you. And it also the other benefit is it allows the other person to calm down theirs as well. Gives time for that analytical side to take over. Every day there are little things that tell your body, I am threatened. Somebody cuts in front of you in traffic, somebody merges, somebody's riding on your bumper, your body goes, I am threatened. That's where road rage comes from. I feel threatened in this environment. When you're talking with your kids, when somebody says something to you that they disagree with your opinion, they dismiss your idea. You don't like that.
Your body's saying, hey, that feels threatening to me. I want you to do something for me right now. Now, if you're driving, don't worry about it. If you're walking on the treadmill, don't worry about it. You can do it later. Do it in your head with me right now. I want you to think of behavior that somebody does that really, really upsets you. And we're going to put a label on it. For example, maybe it's disrespect, dismissive, condescending, belittling, rude. Whatever it is, make it yours. What is a behavior that somebody exhibits that really just feels like it sets you off? You just explode when somebody does this to you. You got it. You find that word. Now write it down, and right next to it, I want you to write, does not threaten me. Does not threaten me. So the sentence would be dismissiveness does not threaten me. Rude comments, backtalk, insults do not threaten. This is the mindset I want you to have when this kind of stuff comes up in your life. Why? Because it is telling your body of, hey, when somebody raises their voice, that doesn't threaten me. When somebody calls me that, the way I'm reacting and telling my body is, hey, this does not threaten me. That's what you're doing with your breath in that moment. That's why we give it time to tell your body what is happening in front of me is not a threat, right? It's this idea that you've seen the big animals, whether it's a lion or an elephant or something, they have like maybe a little dog or something. They just go, what is this? It's like a little animal coming up to a big animal. They're not threatened in any way. That's the whole mindset here of, hey, what you're doing is this isn't threatening to me. I'm seeing right through it. Cool. I'm going to tell you a quick story right now that I don't think I've ever shared. This was maybe 3 weeks ago or so. And where was I? I think I was in San Diego airport. I was in the San Diego airport. It may have been San Diego. Everything's blending together at this moment, and it's early. Give me a break as I got through security at TSA and I was looking for my gate, and I kept following the signs, and then all of a sudden I was outside of it, outside of the security, the gate, the terminal. It wasn't the terminal. The gate was actually in a separate terminal, and I had just walked myself all the way through. I had already gone through security. I had already gone through all the check and the getting your stuff out and ready and giving your ID. I started walking out, and I passed this exit where it goes, the point of no return, or has a red line there at the airport, and I walk out of it, and all of a sudden this is me by myself, and I look and I say this out loud. I go, oh my gosh, I gotta do this all over again, because I have to know I'm going further down where a separate terminal is, and I say, oh my gosh, I gotta do this all over again, in a voice that I had no clue where it was coming from. Female voice goes, that's why you should read the sign, sir. And I'm trying to find who that is. And I turn and look, and as I'm looking, she goes, you have no one to blame but yourself, sir. That's why we have signs. I don't know if you're feeling this, just hearing it to me, just the way the tone came across was so condescending and unexpected and unnecessary. You ever had that? That's why we have signs, sir. You have no one to blame but yourself. And I remember being just taken aback. Who are you? And it was a TSA agent. Now, if you're a TSA agent, I know not everybody is rough and can be terrible. And hey, I'm an attorney, for crying out loud. Not all attorneys are bad. There are some TSA agents that are wonderful. There are some people that are bad. We all have bad apples in every profession. This one right here, this lady, she was middle-aged lady, just looked so smug soon as she said that. And this is what my body wanted to come back with, some really good zingers in that moment. I wanted to say a few things to her because it was really rude. It was condescending. It was unnecessary. And this is what I did. Of course, I have to practice what I preach, right? I looked at her for like 5 seconds, trying to figure out, did she say that? And I just give it time. And now she's sitting back and blinking and looking at me. Her smile is gone. And this is what I asked her. I said, how do you feel when you say that kind of thing to someone? Does it give you joy? That's what I said, like verbatim. And immediately she got red, and just got red in the face and apologized right there. I don't have to prompt anything. She goes, I'm sorry, sir. You're right. That wasn't kind. You're right, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, you can find the terminal if you go straight down. And now she was in helping mode. Now she was in helping mode. You can go right here, and this is where it's gonna be. I would say, oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. You have a wonderful day. You are not a target. You are not somebody's punching bag. You are not the outlet for somebody to release all of their frustrations and their angers and their smugness on you. These tools work. This is why I talk about. That's why I feel so passionate about sharing these. You had the choice right in that moment. When somebody says something ugly, when they're the TSA agent in your life, how are you going to react? What are you going to say to that person? Are you going to allow them to just press your remote control and manipulate all your emotions? I had a choice. You have a choice. Is that going to ruin your day? I just can't believe you'd say that. Excuse me. Is that what excuse me? Are you talking to me? You see how it easily could go the other way. When you give in to that fight or flight, when you don't use your breath, when you don't regulate yourself. If you do not say things with control, it doesn't matter what kind of tip I can give you. It's not going to work. It ain't going to work. You have to say it with control. You are not a target. I hope that this is a good reminder for you wherever you are. I can give you lots of tools and tips on what to say, and we have different podcast episodes on that. And I'm going to continue to give you podcast episodes on this. And I want to make sure that you know and you hear, and really the message is very simple for today. You are not a target. When that happens, I want you to go to your breath, regulate yourself, and then use the questions that I've taught you. These are questions like, did you mean for that to be rude? Did you mean to insult me? Did you mean for that to embarrass? Or you give it time and then you ask somebody a question of intent. How did you expect me to react to that? I could have said that to her. How did you want me to respond to that? How does it make you feel? Imagine being the person who would say that to someone. These ways of responding to rude behavior, that is actually not a response. It's a question. You're not giving them matters of substance. I'm not saying, let me you spit in my eye. Let me spit back in yours. No, it is a reflection of their own behavior and character. And 9 times out of 10, the other person sees that because you're giving them time to are seeing. It's like the blood, the red, it's not blood. The red comes out of their system. You know somebody's seeing red. You have to give them time for that to go away. Come back to normal. Come back. I know that's not who you are. People are not. People are far better than, and we give him a chance to be. Why? Because we know that in ourselves. So when you have the patience and the discipline to get to that, you're going to have a better communication and a better relationship and a better life because of that. Do you lose respect faster when you can tell somebody's not respecting themselves, or when somebody says something disrespectful to you?